reached Eric Marshall. Leave a message.
All right.
Friday night.
People have been waiting for this for...
Got a new microphone.
That's right. Professor's got a new microphone.
It wasn't me after all.
We've extended his extenuation.
I'm normal.
Now you need to make sure that you enunciate your syllabants.
Syllabants. It's unnatural.
All right, so we're rolling another magical Friday night. How many days and months has it been since the end of the world?
Over 5 months.
All right, remember we had our end of the world episode.
Oh, I don't know.
It was Friday the 13th. Was it March or April?
Well, probably March, because that's when I stopped working from work in March.
Let me check my records here. All right, so here we are. Yeah, it was March the 13th. It was the end of the effing world. Remember, this is a kid-friendly podcast.
Was that a Friday the 13th?
Yep. Of course. Why wouldn't it be? If you're going to end the world, what day of the week?
You think they planned it that way?
Who's they?
Come on. You know who they are. The leaders.
The
controllers.
The shapeshifters and the reptilians and the Illuminati. Well, I mean, here's the thing. If they planned it, they gave it away. Maybe that's just a good milestone, Friday the 13th. All right, so Friday the 13th was about exactly 5 months ago, like you said, 20 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we're 5 months post-apocalyptic dystopian universe.
Do you think
agree?
that'll be the start of the new era? Like they'll say year one was March 13th, 2020. That was when the next BC, what is it called now? AC
BC.
after
well,
coronavirus?
it is BC and AC, right?
Before Corona and after Corona?
Right. Well, if they were smart, they would.
AD will be after disease.
Yeah. Before disease and after disease. Well, anyhow.
Who will be the new savior?
Fauci.
The doctor?
Yeah.
He doesn't save nobody. Come on.
He's the only one. He's the only one that's got it going on. Now, I don't want to... The problem with these podcasts, man, is we can't drift political, right? We got to present a rosy view of America where everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
And we're 5 months into the dystopian future, right? So you and I talked about what
But it's not as cool as Blade Runner, though, is it?
Well, let's talk about differences from the past, BC and AC differences real quick, if there are any. I asked you this week, I said, have you done any social or recreational activity lately?
No.
But did you do it BC?
Slightly more than what I do now.
What's slowing you down?
No need to. Don't feel like it. Tired.
Because you got to wear that mask.
That and the mask. And it's hard to talk to people you don't know when you both have masks on, you know?
You can't see their facial expressions. You can't hear them.
You can't just smile at something somebody says.
Right.
Because they'll just think, why are you staring at me? No, I was smiling. Well,
right.
How am I supposed to know?
Right.
They need to have see-through masks. Like plastic mask.
Yeah. Well.
Be a good invention, wouldn't it? Saran wrap on your face.
That's not bad. How do you breathe?
You won't get coronavirus. You just asphyxiate.
Just asphyxiate. Speaking of masks, I don't have many masks, right? I had a couple, and I got 3, and I use them over and over, and I've sneezed in 2 of them already. I don't know which 2. So don't borrow my mask, because you just be putting the sneeze right on your face.
They gave us a neck gaiter.
I hear those are the worst.
I don't think they do anything anyways. What's keeping you from getting coronavirus in your eyeball?
Well, according to our Lord and Savior Fauci, he said that most infections are just from, breathing and spittle, right? And he said fomites, that's your word of the night, fomites, are less a vector of transmission. So that means touching stuff. Like, remember when we first had coronavirus on March 14th, and we're supposed to Lysol all of our mail and stuff, our groceries, supposed to leave your grocery out in the garage for 5 days and Lysol it.
Really?
You don't have to do it no mo.
What about if you get a water droplet in your eyeball?
Yeah.
Will it not transmit
You mean
that
spit
way?
to the eyeball?
Yeah. Microscopic water droplet.
You know, when first off, let's do some disclaimers, okay?
I wear glasses.
I wear glasses too. Let's do some disclaimers. Things I don't know shit, right? I don't know shit, not a medical professional, went to public schools in the 49th state out of 50 for public schools.
Tennessee's 50.
I don't know. Tennessee's probably not 50. It depends on the year, right? I went to number one party school for 5 years, man.
It's good.
Playboy's number one party school for 5 years. I was there.
Where's that at?
Okay, Morgantown. Or
West Virginia.
Some people
number one party school?
back in the day. Yeah, they used to call it Morgan Hole.
Captain Morgan's.
But so again, we're not any type of medical experts at all. We don't even play them on TV. And if you're listening to us for medical advice, you know, take out some life insurance.
Yeah.
All right, so to the eyeball, spit to the eyeball, it comes down to dose, right? Quantity of virus absorbed.
Could one piece of spittle in your nose or mouth give it to you?
How many viruses are floating in it?
I don't know.
Is it like?
Let's say the equivalent amount of virus and spittle that somebody got into their nose or mouth, that they contracted the virus. If you got that in your eyeball, would you get it?
I don't know.
Because you got a passage that connects to your sinuses from your eyeball.
Your lacrimal glands.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Tear duct.
Yeah. So here's the question: can you catch that? Like, can you catch a cold or flu through your eyeballs?
I don't know.
They say don't touch your eyes when you're
Yeah.
sick. So to your answer is,
you can definitely get pink eye from somebody.
so if somebody's talking or singing AC/DC next to you, can they AC/DC the virus into your eyeball? We're saying it could happen.
Well, yeah, but I guess if you wear your mask, you're cutting your chances by 2/3, because you got 3 holes down here and 2 holes up there. 3/5. You're cutting your chances by 3/5.
And then if you're us nearsighted bastards, you know.
I think everybody should wear a swimming goggles or a swimming mask.
Yeah.
And then a mask.
What about a welder's mask?
That too. Anything. A deep sea helmet.
Welders.
Full facial mask.
Yeah. So anyhow, here's where we are. This is our dystopia.
Yeah, it's not as interesting as what I always thought it would be.
Well, maybe we're not there yet. Now,
Max.
So things that have changed. Okay, what you're telling me is that 2 humans can't communicate now.
Are we locked up?
I don't know. Test.
No, we're still recording.
All right.
It just looked like we were locked up.
So the strength of humans. We jumped right into it tonight. I wanted to do some entertainment first. We like entertainment. The strength of humans is the ability to work together like ants, right?
I thought it was imagination.
Well, they didn't have much imagination when built them pyramids. They just worked like ants. Went to Saturn V to the moon. That big myth we busted. So and the way that we work together is through communication, right?
Tower of Babel.
Like other primates don't really talk.
I understand.
So if this virus has broken down communication, now it hasn't. We can still type. We can still Zoom. We can do headphones. We can do cell phones. Now, if electricity falls through, that's probably the least of our worries, the virus, right? So if electricity goes away, and we all Germany spittling on each other,
that's when you'll have Mad Max scenario.
Yeah, I don't know. So maybe. All right. So what have we learned in 5 months? We learned some businesses weren't meant for this world, right?
Like gyms,
like Vitamin World, right? GNC went under.
Did it?
Yeah.
I had no idea. They're overpriced anyways.
Yeah, see? And then like Steinmart and stuff like that. Like stores I never went into, they're gone.
Steinmart. Is that like a Hobby Lobby or Marshalls?
Yeah, like Marshalls. Or what's the other one?
Big Lots.
Yeah, there's another one too.
TJ Maxx.
Kohls.
Kohls is doing okay. They're taking returns for Amazon packages, so they're doing all right. Then you get a coupon.
If you go in there, if you're risking death to return your package,
you got your mask on, everything's going to be all right.
So the other thing, like songbirds went down.
The museum?
Yeah.
Because you can't touch the guitars?
Because there's nobody going out to listen to music. So here's what we've learned so far. We learned that, and sports is over with, right? Sports is over with. Concerts are over with.
Thank God.
Groups of people are over with.
How's that going to work when the population keeps going up?
I don't know.
Every day.
Who knows? And churches are kind of over with, right? I don't know. I think people wear masks going to church.
And they also do YouTube church.
Yeah. I mean, I think churches...
Church tube.
Aren't what they used to be.
No, they're not.
So, and then we've got, I don't know, what do we got? 160,000 dead, which is horrible, right? Any deaths are horrible. How many sick millions? How many millions are sick in the U.S.? I mean, infected? I don't know. How many cases? We don't have our facts and figures tonight.
I saw an infographic, and it's very small considering the population of America. The number of infected and the number of deaths are very fraction.
I think you're looking at InfoWars infographics. We're the worst country of all the countries for cases and deaths.
It's still tiny. It's like less than 1% of 1%.
Well, it's supposedly it's like 3 planes crashing a day.
Deaths?
Every day, yeah.
That's like 9, probably 500.
Here in the Nuga, we're averaging 1 to 3, right? Yeah. Atlanta's averaging 94.
But you have to understand that a guy died in a motorcycle crash, and they said, well, he died of COVID.
They reversed that. I sent you the article.
How many other deaths do you think are like that?
How many normal deaths that were COVID do you think's the other direction?
0.
So you have to deal with the facts you're given. Right. But that's not where I was going, luckily. So where I was going is all deaths are horrible, right? We're not pro that. But there are some interesting things that's happened in our dystopian universe since COVID.
Okay.
There's more focus on the family.
Yeah, less pollution.
Less pollution. Right. People were eating at home, right? They're preparing their own food.
Exercising at home.
There's a lot of people exercising, man. I mean, there are a lot of bikes are sold out.
You can't find weights.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Can't find weights.
Because the gyms are closed.
You can't find telescopes, supposedly. You can't find speakers.
Wow.
It's a true story. I don't know about cars. I think probably people are driving less, right? They're not behind cars.
Houses are still selling like hotcakes.
Home repair is probably up. So it's just like we all
win.
We all decided to improve our houses. And by our houses, I mean like our lives and stuff.
Work out in the yard. Plant some flowers. Put some mulch down.
I mean, tons of people are walking, running, bicycling. I don't think swimming too much.
It's how the world was before TV.
Right. The school down the road, the guy said, they asked him one time, they said, how come you don't have team sports for your college kids to go see? Right? And he said, I'd rather have 100 kids playing than 100 kids watching 10 kids play.
That's good.
Yeah. Now, schools have fell apart. We have to jump into that in a second.
Yeah.
But so far, all that stuff we kind of listed is if you're not sick and you're not getting sick, and knock on wood, right? And hopefully nobody you know gets sick, and hopefully they stop getting sick, right? Some of that stuff pre-COVID was just like, just narcissism incorporated, right?
I wonder how it's affected social media. 0.
I think people's gone through the roof. I think if people's kind of gone to, I don't know, if you're working from home, it's kind of like a 4-day work week. I mean, I work 5 days, but
Yeah.
It definitely tapers off on Fridays now, right?
And Mondays.
Yeah.
And part of the day Wednesday.
Not for some people. I mean, and that's there's two things bad about COVID: dying, getting sick, and getting unemployed. Right? Having your livelihood taken away. So, everybody says 2020 is bad, would not recommend, right? They get those 5 stars and they put a 1. They say 2020 would not recommend.
Hey, you make everybody contributes to it, either good or bad.
But if these things happen and we're not, back to narcissism, right? The celebrities, and I call it the cult of personality. You remember that song? Right. So we used to worship celebrities. Now they're not in movies because they're not making movies, and we're not worshiping as much, right?
They're not making any movies right now?
Not too many. They think they're going to start at the best. They might be able to make 5 big movies a year. That'd
be good for the movies. The 5 movies that get made.
Well, and they need to go straight to cable, or not cable, but streaming. And you pay $21 to watch a movie at your house.
The only way movie theaters make money anyways is through refreshments. The sales of the tickets all go to the movie studios.
Right. So it's another narcissistic thing, movie theaters. Now, so there's got to be drawbacks. Nothing in life is all good. So if you don't have a house, and you don't have a TV, and you don't have a phone, you don't have social media,
you're homeless.
You don't have child care, it's not a good scene, And that's a lot of people, right?
Yeah. I would hate to think what it would be like to live in an apartment complex, with hundreds of other families. Yeah. Where you just get out of your car and run to your door and grab a Clorox wipe and wipe yourself down real quick.
Well, remember,
keep yourself shut up.
Fauci said you don't have to wipe that shit off no more. Fomites, not the main conduit. Right?
You can get the regular flu or a cold from touching the doorknob that somebody just touched.
Right. Everybody's using
I wipe stuff down when I get done with the store. Get back home, I wipe my car handles down, wipe my steering wheel down, my car keys.
Yeah, I'm not that.
I've always been like that anyways, though. Sanitize myself as soon as I get in the car from the store, put some sanitizer on.
I swam in the river and took swallows of river water. Right.
Ew.
So, bring it on.
I did that once, and I got a protozoa. I had to go get some medicine.
You had to get it removed.
It gave me some kind of pills, and it just took care of it.
That sounds like a personal problem.
It was a single-celled organism.
Where did it attach itself?
From the lake water. It's in my intestines somewhere.
Really? Did you lose any weight?
I don't know. I was a kid. I remember having diarrhea.
Some people think it's funny.
But it's really green and funny.
All right. Let's get back on track here. So, here's the what 2 ways you survive the dystopian universe. 1, don't catch the disease. 2, keep your job.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if you caught the disease, you're hurting, and hopefully you got over it. I know people that have had it and they've gotten over it.
Do you think it'd be better to get it earlier on or later in the stage?
I want to be the ultimo hombre.
Never get it?
I want to be the last man standing.
That means you might be immune to it.
Well, that means you stayed in your basement, for...
People coming from outside, though, into your house.
For 5 years. I need to spray them down. I need to have some kind of...
Enter the decontamination chamber.
Well, the problem is it's in your lungs.
Breathe in deeply.
Every breath you take, every move you make. So we can't say coronavirus is a rising tide that lifts all ships, right?
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's changed everything. But maybe it's got rid of some things that weren't that great.
Yeah, I see where you're going. It got rid of the fat in our lives.
I mean, let's talk about celebrity worship or band worship. What's the hottest band in 2020?
No idea.
No idea. Because they're having a stream now, like on YouTube. I'm trying to think who's the hottest band. A lot of that
Some
pop
band
stuff.
I've never heard of.
Right. Some of that pop stuff I'm not up with, right? I like alternative rock, which ended in, 2003.
Yeah.
But like, for example, let's say Post Malone. We like Post Malone because he did Nirvana, right? Online.
Right.
He was cool back in the early days of the apocalypse.
Seems
Super
like
cool.
years ago.
Seems like years ago. Seems like a whole different planet. But you're not going to any Post Malone concerts, are you?
Nope.
Now, the motorcycle riders are going to see Smash Mouth in Sturgis, unprotected. Which Smash Mouth, which is from the 90s, right? What's
Hey
their,
now, you're a
hey
rock
now,
star.
you're,
They
hey now,
have that on the Shrek soundtrack.
hey now. What else they sing? No, that
Hey, you're walking
place is
on the
gold.
sun. Feels like I'm
Yeah.
walking on the sun.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I get them confused with Modest Mouse, right? So nobody's worshiping Smash Mouth, right? They still might worship Post Malone, right? But he's not turning ticket sales. Now let's talk about politicians. Let's talk about figures of worship in the United States because it's our country.
Mm-hmm.
Politics is like our effing football right now. Politics is football.
Yeah.
It's our soccer. Pick your team. Get your team across the goal line, whether it kills the other team or not, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Right,
You just got to win. Just got to win.
It's Alabama versus Auburn.
Tennessee versus Georgia.
Yep. So let's talk about, we're getting ready to go into an election here in, 90 days or something.
Mm-hmm.
And Biden, I don't know how old he is, 79 or 78.
He's up there.
Well, Trump's 75.
He's up there.
Right. And so what's interesting, Biden's been in his bunker, and I'm not going to talk politics, but he has to be in his bunker this whole sales cycle,
Yep.
and then
They're not going to debate, are they?
they are going to try to debate. That's going to be
Or
interesting.
is it going to be over a computer, over the internet?
No, I bet the internet, but that's going to be must-see TV, man.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
That is going to be some celebrity worshiping right there.
Sleepy Joe and old Don. What's Donald's nickname? One of his nicknames?
His nickname's POTUS.
Sleepy Joe and the incumbent.
Yeah. So we worship politicians. We worship rock songs. We worship rock stars. We worship movie stars.
I don't worship anybody.
Yeah.
I've always been against that.
Is there no movie stars you like? What about?
I would never be like, oh my God, look at it. I would ignore them. Is what I would do.
If you saw somebody in real life.
Yeah, I would ignore them, or I would just wave at them or something. I've met famous people, and I just treat them like a regular person. I don't go like, oh, I'm your biggest fan, because they hear that crap.
Yeah. Who'd
Do
you
you want
meet?
to stand up?
Who'd you
Steven
meet?
Seagal.
Who'd you meet in person?
Steven Seagal. That was the big.
Steven
the
Seagal.
big
He's the number one.
one. Brad Paisley.
Yeah. He's from West Virginia.
A couple other people. What's the person from? What's the Sixpence None the Richer?
Yeah, another 90s band. Uh-oh.
I helped them unload a speaker, and I got a $50 tip.
You got a $50 tip.
Yeah, from their road manager, just for pushing one guitar cabinet.
That's pretty awesome.
And I just, of course, that was part of my job, not to gush over celebrities, but I wouldn't have done it anyways.
Yeah, where are they now? What was their big hit song?
Sixpence None the Richer's big hit song was a cover of the Laws, There She Goes.
There she goes.
I had another song.
There she goes.
They were from Nashville.
The only celebrity I ever saw was Stevie Wonder.
Did he see you?
Yeah, I knew that was coming, man. He didn't see me. He was in the airport in Atlanta, right? And I was going to the airport, and I said, hey, man, that's Stevie Wonder over there. And this is true story, okay? This is true story. So, he has a handler, right? He has like a bodyguard handler. Okay. And it was just him and some handler up in like, I don't know, Panera Bread or something, or some kind of little store. And You walk up and you say, "Hey, can I say hi to Stevie?" You have to get through the handler. He goes, "Yeah, go ahead, man." I go, "Stevie, man, how's it going, man? I'm a good fan, big fan." I said just what you said I wouldn't say, and then we're talking. I told him what my favorite Stevie Wonder song was. I think I told him "Superstitious."
Yeah.
Because you like that one, yeah. And I said, and then there's that guy that came out now that sampled you, and it was Gangsters Paradise. We're living all our lives, making in this gangster's paradise.
What's his name? Coolio?
Coolio. I think somebody sampled Stevie. Maybe it wasn't a song. And I said, "Man, your version's so much better." And he goes, "I love that version." He goes, "Every time I hear it, I just keep hearing cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching." It's what Stevie Wonder told me.
Wow. Cha-ching.
Cha-ching.
I see dollar signs.
Gangsters Paradise. We need to Google that and see what song that was.
Weird Al did a cover of Gangsters Paradise. It was called Amish Paradise.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Maybe I just didn't know about it, but I don't remember a Stevie Wonder sample in it.
No, I may have the wrong song, man. But, we don't Google.
What song was it that they sampled? Stevie Wonder song, Superstitious?
Well, think about it. It was probably 1999, 2000.
I'm not familiar with his work from that era.
Well, no, they sampled his 70s work. But so it was some rap song. But
Cha-ching.
Man, I hate to Google.
Started in about 91, I believe, is when they had to start paying people for samples.
All right, let me type this in. Stevie.
Right after
Wonder
Licensed to Ill, I believe.
It's Gangsters Paradise,
Paul's
man.
Boutique.
I was right, as usual.
What song was it, though, they sampled?
All right, hang on here. Stevie and I got into an argument, actually, about this.
Really? Did you beat him up?
No, but he said, "Have you heard such and such song?" Yeah. All right. Stevie Wonder. Man, he's got all kinds of songs that are sampled. Every song we've ever heard. Amish Paradise. I swear to God, it says Amish Paradise.
That was the Weird Al version.
Yeah. Gangsters Paradise.
Coolio says he didn't give Weird Al permission to sample that song, and Weird Al's like, then why doesn't he sue me? He just wants to be cool.
Coolio.
He wants the money, but he just wants to look like he's cool.
All right, I'm going to go with Gangsters Paradise. Final answer.
You won $250,000.
I don't think I earned anything. I earned Panera Bread with Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder versus Steven Seagal. Who'd win?
We're talking about a fist fight?
Talking about a cage match in the dark.
I think Stevie would. He's used to the dark.
You think he could echolocate him? Mm-hmm. Well, Seagal's pushing 400 pounds now, right?
Yeah. Have you seen his hairline? It's like all weird, like it's drawn on there with a magic marker or something.
I haven't seen it.
Kind of like John Travolta's.
We won't. Yeah, we won't celebrity bash.
Okay.
We're kindler, gentler.
I'll go with Stevie. Stevie would kick his butt.
Yeah. Well, again. This. What'd you say? This podcast was.
I don't know.
One time you said it was. It was satire.
Satire?
So this is satire. That's our attempt at satire.
We can say whatever we want. Second Amendment. First Amendment. Or whatever. One of those amendments. We can say whatever we want. Nobody can do nothing about it.
Sounds good on paper. So look, back to BC versus AC.
Yeah.
So less celebrity worshiping. Let's talk about restaurants for a second. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There was 1 million restaurants, right?
Yeah.
And what's the bad side? They took up a lot of real estate.
Yeah.
Took a lot of money out of my pocket. Right?
Bad for you.
Some of them are bad. Some of them, you get into foodie roadshows, right? Like you have to go so-and-so because they hand-cut their garlic leaves into symmetrical octagons and distribute it, uniformly throughout the mixture.
Nice.
So now, I don't mind other people making food at all, right? Now they don't need the footprint. They don't need the dining room. So they have all those high rent
yeah.
areas. Like say they're on the south side.
That's how Central Park, one of the reasons why they were successful, because they didn't have a dining room. Don't have to pay that overhead.
Central Park fast food place.
Mm-hmm. Just a square box, you know. You pull up in your car.
Right.
And Sonic as well.
No, I'm not down on restaurants, but you got the real estate footprint, utilities, maintaining the tables, having the waiters and waitresses who definitely need jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And they need people to come in. That's decreased. For example, like Community Pie Pizza, right? You ever been there?
Yes.
And they got a big dining room and all that. If you can't have dine-in, you got to shut it down.
It's frozen.
I don't think it ever freezes, man. I think it's an optical illusion.
It stops and then
I think it's a PC.
stops. All right. Go ahead.
So Community Pie, they don't have to be at that location to make pizzas, right? They could be in not as expensive of a zip code.
Talking about down there on Market.
Yeah. Yeah.
People should just do delivery. Restaurants should just do delivery now. Red Lobster delivery.
So that's another thing that's changed. We're all about delivery now.
You
right?
got those two companies that franchise out. What is it? Grubhub and something else.
So, you know, the jobs will change, right? And we'll go from whatever the jobs were, service economy.
It's just going to evolve. I mean, I have good aspects and bad aspects. It's just going to change. Everything changes.
Here's what I'm concerned with. I'm going to open up with you. I'm going to be vulnerable here. All
right, man.
I'm going to express my inner feelings here. I'm worried that we'll get dumber.
We will.
Because I'm all for, I'm a cheerleader of the human race.
Every generation gets dumber in some ways and smarter in other ways.
So,
You getting sick on me?
Yeah, man. Touch me, I'm sick. I think I'm just getting choked up here on the tea.
Oh, it's good stuff.
So if we get dumber, I don't want us to like get more like Dark Ages. That's what I'm worried about.
Assuming that the internet stays around and storage, digital storage maintains
But we
itself.
just fight and don't believe anything it says.
Well, people get stupider in general, but they get smarter in one area, like specialized doctors or scientists.
Or weapons, like making spears, go from their house to other guy's house.
Back in the Renaissance, a scientist would be also an artist, so they would be good at philosophy and physical science and writing songs and stuff. But now, the more you learn about stuff, the more knowledge there is, and the longer it takes you to learn something. So
more specialization.
Yeah, you have to specialize in something, or else you'd be one of a billion people.
Right.
So somebody might be really good at physics and not know how to work on their car, or not know how to grow corn or something.
I had an example of today. So AC, how does it change AC? It makes everybody more average. You have to fix your own stuff.
It's a good point.
You know.
Or you'll have to find somebody locally to do it.
Yeah.
Closer to home.
Artisans. So let's talk about schools for a second, because they just opened schools. And I was riding the bicycle, I guess, this morning. You know how many brushes with death I had? Probably 5 or 7. But here comes a Hamilton County bus. Haven't seen one of those for a long time.
Weren't looking for it, were you?
No. And everybody was rushing. And they always, I can't stand it. It's me and 2 cars stack up at the same time. Could be 4 miles of road, 2 miles in front, 2 miles in back that's empty. And every freaking time, it's me and 2 cars.
And you know what's going to happen.
And I know. And I just, God bless.
So you see a car coming towards you, and then all of a sudden there's a car behind you?
Yeah.
And
you're like, I might as well just pull over now, because...
he's angry and impatient.
Yeah.
Can't wait extra 30
can't see you,
seconds.
they're texting, whatever. They can't time their brakes or the accelerator where they don't pass at the same time.
In that respect, people are getting stupider.
That's synchronicity.
Less able to control their vehicle.
So
no ability to drive a car safely.
Let's talk about schools for a second. So what they're doing, and I know this from a friend of mine, first grade, they're having they broke the class into A and B, right? So A goes Monday and Tuesday, and then they're home 3 days, right? B goes Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
Wednesdays they clean the school.
That's good.
How smart are those kids going to be?
Are they having to use the internet at that early age for classwork? My niece has to.
I don't know.
They do Zoom meetings or something like that.
I mean, what are you going to teach a first grader over the computer?
Teach them how to sit quietly and behave.
Yeah.
Same stuff you teach them.
Stay indoors. Don't go play.
Yeah.
I see your. So you're on a good point there, old buddy.
Thank you.
You're on a good point. Let me come back to. They're losing 3/5 of their education, right? If they're home 3 days.
Yeah.
Who's staying with them? I mean, typically you have to have both parents to pay the rent.
My mom's taking care of one of my nieces.
Really?
Well, her mother's going to be starting a job, so she'll be working. And then school was supposed to start back, but it got canceled again. So my mother's going to be watching one of the kids, and then the other kid's going to be in daycare probably till they close it down. And then if you don't have a grandmother or somebody to take care of your kids, you're screwed.
So you're coming back to focus on the family, right? The family unit, which blew up. All we want to do is divorce and move to different towns and have different stepdads, stepmoms, stepkids, stepdaughters.
In that sense, families getting more traditional by multi-generational families living under the same roof, like it's been for the past thousands of years.
There's pluses, man. There's societal evolution, right? There's physical evolution, like opposable thumbs, right, or whatever, or
prehensile toenails.
Yeah, but there's societal evolutions where
cultural evolution.
If your family has more members and you can beat the family next to you, you survive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
more farm hands.
So that's a plus if the family helps it. Not everybody has a family. Again, you get into evolution, you get into winnowing.
Well, everybody starts out with a family.
Yeah, hopefully.
They might not keep them. They had to come from somewhere.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you still feel like there's some kind of a shame or guilt associated with a grown man living with his parents in this day and age?
Well, how old?
My age.
Your age. No.
Even though they need my help.
No, I don't.
Even though I spend more money on taking care of the house.
I don't think about it. I don't judge. The way I look at it is, you got to do what you got to do, and it's working. Okay,
let's say I got a date.
Yeah.
On Tinder or whatever. Hey, my name's Adam. I would invite you back to my place, but my parents are asleep. Wouldn't work. I mean, it depends on the person.
Here's the way I'd play that. Of course, I'm different than you are. I'd say, hey, yeah, I'm in between. I'm taking care of my parents. My dad's having this issue. My mom's having this issue. Show her what a great person you are.
But that's kind of like making an excuse because you feel guilty for it or feel ashamed of it.
But are you a great person or not? Or are you an evil manipulator, lying and evil manipulator?
I wouldn't lie about it. I just don't see why you have to. See, it's still kind of a taboo that for at least for a grown man to be living with his parents. Maybe not so much a woman, but something about like you have no.
I think it's more and more common, man. I think
it is.
Failure to launch or just there's no jobs. There's no jobs for millennials.
Well, you got to make $50,000 a year just to afford a car and a crappy house.
Right.
Wages aren't going up.
No, so I don't. Back to the thing about how you tell people about it. Perception's reality. You ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
And how you.
If you don't feel guilty and shameful about it, then they won't see that in you.
I would show it with humor.
Yeah.
And I would show you're helping.
Yeah.
You're helping.
I see.
And your minimal footprint. And you got more going for you than that.
But you also save a ton of money. I could be living in a 1-bedroom apartment and hating it. I think it's going to, that aspect of society is becoming more traditional again. I think it's a good thing. See, nobody wants to be alone.
So we're kind of looking at coronavirus's pluses and minuses, right? death and sickness minus, lost jobs minus, living at home is acceptance is a plus.
Yeah.
Right? Grandma watching the kids because they're not at school when they're little is a plus.
Yeah.
You know, when they need to learn something, I don't know what your peak learning years are. Maybe all of them.
For children, you mean?
Yeah.
From like being able to speak until
8 to 18?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know.
Whatever age you are when you learn how to ride a bicycle, that's peak learning because you never forget how to ride a bicycle.
There's stuff I learned that I'll never forget, like don't end a sentence with a preposition.
That's when your brain's the emptiest and the most plastic and easily filled.
So back to coronavirus's pluses and minuses.
All right.
That's the kind of this episode. It's all minuses. But things I don't miss. Right? So you used to feel like, hey, man, it's the weekend. I got to go out and do something.
Yeah.
Or I'm a bump on a log. Right?
The older I get, the less I feel like that.
Yeah, or like you feel like, well, the older you get past that is like, I ain't got too many weekends left, you know. Just don't want to sit here again. But
if there was something different to do every weekend, that would be acceptable to me. But doing the same things every weekend, I'd rather just sit home, sleep, take a nap.
Now you don't feel guilty.
No.
I'm talking about weekend nights, not weekend days, you know, exercise.
Well, if you don't drink and go to bars or nothing.
Yeah.
Or go to concert. You can't go to concerts anymore.
Can't go to concerts, man. We saw Tom Morello. That was a good one.
What about outdoor concerts?
They're having drive-in theaters. That might be cool.
Yeah.
But they're not making much money because they can't sell too much. You bring your own damn M&Ms to the drive-in theater. You know.
Bring some hot dogs and tacos and some Captain D's.
whatever gets you through the night. It's all right.
Have a date, some Captain D's, and watching Jaws.
I'm gonna give you a story.
All right.
It's story time.
Yes.
Back when I was a kid, we had a drive-in theater near our house in St. Albans, West Virginia. I forget the name of it. It was on Route 37 or Route 35. Route 35 had drive-in theater. So we're like 11th grade. We could drive. We had cars.
But that was fun.
We had those like.
Did you smoke any dope?
No, I don't think so. So we think, hey, we're going to sneak in the theater. We'll get in the trunk. Don't ever get in your buddy's trunk, okay? Kids, here's a top tip for kids out there. Once you're in your buddy's trunk, he can do whatever he wants, right?
He's not your buddy anymore.
He's not. He locks that bitch up, and then it's just jocularity. So we went in there, and let me ask you this. Let's say you've had a drive-in theater for 10, 20 years, right?
Say what?
Let's say you own a drive-in theater for 10 or 20 years.
Pop the trunk.
Do you think you'll figure out that people come in the trunk or not? You think it's new and novel?
Well, yeah, of course.
Right. So we go in some dude's trunk. You know, back then there was no money, right?
Yeah.
Back then here's a tell you another story. We used to cash in Coke bottles for 80 cents, right? 8 Coke bottles, you get 10 cents a Coke bottle.
That's not bad.
That was big money, man. And probably a drive-in theater was $3, $4, $5. Who knows? So
that's 30.
I don't have
bottles.
I don't have enough Coke bottles for that.
Have to chug them, man.
So we got in the theater, and then we figure out, well, look, we'll just instead of going back out in the trunk, because they might bust us. How in the hell are they going to bust us? We'll just climb the fence and jump over the fence and meet you on the other side of the fence. So I remember jumping over the damn fence, and of course it's got concertina wire on it, you know, and landing and rolling the ankle, right?
Ouch.
And just had a series of ankle rollings over the years. That was probably the first big one.
What movie was it?
No idea.
You were smoking dope. You don't remember?
No, there was no dope smoked. The ankle may have hurt less if there was dope smoked. But there you go. So drive-in theaters, that's a plus.
So there was nothing weird happened in the trunk, like from the guy locking you in the trunk. He didn't leave you in there for 2 hours.
You get concerned, okay? You go into sensory depth, right? And your mind plays tricks on you like, hey, shouldn't we already be back in the parking spot by now? You know, how come we're still driving, you know? What's he saying? I can't understand what he's saying.
Did you get any carbon monoxide poisoning while you're in there?
I can't remember the car either. I had a 1973 Oldsmobile
Nice.
Delta 88. You ever see that movie Evil Dead 2?
Yeah.
That's the car he had.
Oh, that's awesome.
That car.
It's a boat.
I had that car. It's a boat. I had that car going like 110 with 6 guys in it.
You hit a bump and
Yeah.
4 miles later you're still rocking.
That thing would get, I don't know, 8 miles a gallon. 8 or 11.
A gallon. That's a lot of Coke bottles.
Gas was high back then. Jimmy Carter days, right?
Mm.
All right, so where were we? Coronavirus pluses and minuses. It's not all minuses. There are some major minuses, but...
Every cloud has a silver lining, dude.
So the library's shut down, I guess.
I don't know if it's completely shut down or not. I think they're still having some programs in there, but maybe they're doing social distancing when you go in there.
You got to want it. It's like a restaurant. You got to want it.
Yeah. I know you can check out books online and they'll bring them out to your car or something like that. Or
Yeah. And then live music, you got to want it. It's not happening.
What can we live without? We're finding out.
Pro football, college football, pro basketball, pro baseball.
Good riddance.
I think the lookouts are toast. Chattanooga lookouts. Isn't that crazy?
What are they going to do with all the stadiums?
You know, I don't know. Monster truck
Is that where
pools or something.
the people are going to live after civilization falls? You get that. This is my stadium. You have to pay a tax to come into my stadium. It's my castle.
It's going to have to be near the river so they can catch fish. So isn't that crazy? In 5 months from the fall of civilization on Friday, March 13th,
More money in my pocket.
the lookouts are gone. You never would have thought that. February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
You thought, well, shit, there'll be baseball, there'll be concerts.
I guess it's a big deal, but I don't really care. I really don't care. Until it affects myself personally. It's kind of unreal.
If you're unemployed, it would affect you.
I'd start mowing yards.
Yeah,
Of course, I wouldn't have health insurance. That would suck.
yeah.
No retirement. Is my retirement still going to be
No,
okay?
it's probably toast.
It went up $200 in this past quarter, though,
Yeah,
since June.
$200 is about 3 days.
For me, $200 is a lot because it usually goes up like $20.
Okay.
I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I mean, but it's artificially inflated. It'll probably crash.
That's what I figured. Should I take all my money out of the savings and just blow it?
That's what I do.
Should I buy gold with it and antibiotics?
Yeah.
And ammunition.
Ammunition is the new gold, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Has always been.
Something else is good too. Seeds. They said buy seeds. Because when
Yeah, but how long does it take to grow a plant? Like, let's say you want to eat a piece of corn.
a lot of the plants, seeds and plants you buy now, they're only designed to
Go once.
grow once, and then the seeds that come off those plants are not. They
Right.
won't
You
grow
got to get
again.
those heirloom ones.
Yeah.
So let's say you want corn. It's going to take you 6 months for a bowl of corn.
You only get about 2 to 3 ears of corn per plant.
Yeah. I'm all for seeds. Just that it's delayed gratification with a lot of risk. But
Yeah.
you got to eat something. You can't count on other countries sending us food in the
The
winter.
best thing you could do is to have a permaculture forest out back that always replenishes itself.
I mean, you can shoot these deer in Turkey,
Yeah.
you know. But anyhow, we're going down the prepper road. That's kind of not where we want to go. Probably. It's just infinite, you know, hall of mirrors.
Yeah.
Um,
All you have to do is survive longer than the most of the people around you, and you'll be okay.
Nobody's going anywhere. Like you said, low death rate, right? 0.2, 0.1, 1%, whatever it is. Probably would have gone anyhow.
This population that we're on the earth is not sustainable, though.
Yeah, I agree. What are the other benefits of not being able to get in groups? And
you have to learn how to entertain yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're all
being more creative.
So they're not making movies now, which is I think is kind of good.
You can go back and rediscover the classics.
Yeah, the books.
Audiobooks, man, that's the way to go.
Right.
Got to use your inner eye, your mind's eye.
What if I don't like the dude's voice reading the book? Get another one.
They do different voices. They do a really good audiobook's the same guy doing all the different voices. And he sounds just like a beautiful woman. He sounds like an ugly guy. It's just awesome.
So I mean, we're kind of running out of steam here, but
it's okay.
You're going to quantify the steam. How much steam have we consumed?
Horsepowers.
All right.
Oh, okay.
So the net is coronavirus won't let humans in groups interact, and probably won't let them. They call it your pod. What's a group of humans called? I don't know. A group of whales is called a pod.
Family.
Yeah. So
nuclear family.
So you hang out with your pod. You're getting more fit. You may be eating healthier. You're driving less. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're eating healthier. I think people are gaining weight.
Some people.
Yeah. You've seen every show on Netflix, and they weren't that good.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, how many new shows can they make that are great? I don't know, man. Everything's been thought of. You know?
Yeah, entertainment's kind of lackluster. Movies and TV.
So, I don't want to go back to the dark ages. I want still advancements in, science and technology.
Okay.
How do you have that when you're widely distributed as a species?
Well, you'll just have to be collaborative over the internet, high-speed internet with the teleconferencing and.
Well, let's say you work for Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California. I forget what town.
Yeah.
Santa or San, some kind of town.
San Francisco.
Something. I don't think it's San Francisco, but we don't have to figure that out.
Silicon Valley.
So I'm at my house. How do I add value to human science?
Well, you use the same program that all the other engineers are using, and you put your drawing in there, and then you email it to your coworker, and he opens it up and goes, I think you need to do a little bit of work here, and he sends it back to you, and you do the work and send it on. He's like, okay, that's good. I'll add mine to it, and we'll send it on.
Or they send pictures of stars. But here's a question: what if you're doing physical tests on chemicals? You can't.
Well, those people have to go to work.
Yeah, that's the point.
They got to wear. They're wearing masks.
You nailed it. Or like you're trying to develop a new semiconductor, a new rare earth metal for your phone, because phones make money.
They're wearing masks too.
Yeah,
full body suits because they can't get any hair or skin cells on it.
At some point, also humans are disposable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say they're mining whatever. What's a heavy metal in your phone? What's a rare earth metal in your phone? Vanadium or something. I don't know. Let's call it vanadium. So you got vanadium mines in Africa, and those guys are getting paid nothing. They're digging. They get dust. They're nasty. Nothing.
Yep.
And another one bites the dust. They don't care.
You're right. They're expendable.
Yeah.
Just like coal miners used to be.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
wonder if it'd be cheaper just to recycle old phones and get the metal out of those.
I hope so. So it's meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Mm-hmm.
As
long as there's people and there's power to go around, humanity's going to keep creeping forward no matter what. It's not going to go back. I mean, it may go back if the power goes out, and if enough people die off, it might go back. But as long as there's civilization, as long as there's order in place, humanity's going to continue. It'll change a lot, but it's going to continue to advance, at least for some of them.
You know why?
Money.
Because it's all about the nookie. Every podcast. Have to
bring it on around.
Slip that in. So, and the problem with Friday Nights with Us is that the week's long, not much sleep, working hard, and then hopefully I'm not hitting all mental cylinders, and you get fatigued mentally as the night goes on. But the question is, did we cover the transformation of the world? Here's the question for you. What's it going to be in 5 or 10 years?
Who knows? 5 or 10 years ago, would we have known it's going to be like this?
We didn't know the football team would be shut down in February.
15 years ago, I never would have saw the world like it is.
Well, let's
had no smartphones.
Yeah, phones are just up everybody's ass. Let's just extrapolate from the trends we see currently.
I think we will have a neural implant like Elon Musk was talking about. It just connects into your... got little feelers on it that go inside your brain and everything. You'll be connected to the net inside your head. You just better pray somebody doesn't come along and put a virus, release a virus out there that turns everybody into zombies. That's my theory.
Well, that's a little bit. I mean, I volunteer for that, but we did have a conversation that humans can't get anything right. Right, so I doubt they can connect your head to a brain modem. It's called the brain modem.
I don't even think they'll need to put anything inside your head. I think they'll be able to tap into your brain waves and be able to intercept those and transmit those.
I mean, can they tap into them now?
I think they can rudimentarily.
Right, we talked about the electromagnetic spectrum. Right, what part of the spectrum is your brain shooting out?
Yeah, they can tap in them because they can record your brain waves and see if you're in alpha state or beta state or theta state or whatever.
Yeah. But I don't know if you can manipulate that.
I don't know if you could turn those patterns into thoughts and images and stuff like that. But I think they'll get to that point sometime.
Well, let me go slower because we want to extrapolate the future here. All right, just as a challenge. Okay. So what we're seeing, here's what we've seen so far, and you base the future on the past. So the plague came out, right? I saw it in January in China on our favorite tool, Reddit. That's how we get smart. And we see it in China, and we think, the death rate's too low. This is not the big plague. This is not the big one. It won't get here. And then boom, it's swarming here, March and April, end of the world, March 13th. And we all shut up. We watched Post Malone. We shut up in our houses. We Lysol'd the mail. Cold, dark spring, right? Uncertainty, layoffs, unemployment. Then here comes summer. How about that? Summer came. It's 88 degrees, 90 degrees, sunny day. Typically in summer, we go on vacation, right? We go to Florida, go to the beach. The disease comes back. It never did really leave. We did a little lockdown. It decreased maybe. Did it decrease here when we locked down?
Barely.
All right. Professor says barely. And where we are now is we're starting schools. We're setting records for... You okay? I got a machine in there you can use. I do.
It's not the bad part, so it's up higher.
Well, I'll use the machine. We'll use the machine later.
Okay.
We're setting records for infection rates and deaths everywhere, and
that's what I was going to ask. Has this plague surpassed any of the other plagues in humanity as far as number of deaths?
They're saying, this is an article this week, was that if we didn't have the health care we did, it's deadlier than 1918.
The swine flu.
The pandemic, 1918, the big flu. I don't know if it was swine flu.
It was
it swine flu?
Spanish influenza, swine flu.
Yeah, so they're saying if you didn't have ventilators and antibiotics and steroids and cortisone shots and aspirins and beds, that it's deadlier. Well, I don't know if who knows what to believe.
I mean, a lot of people died, but that wasn't a big one either, like the Black Death or anything like that.
Right. I think 1918, you and I were supposed to research it. We never did. Was pretty damn big, honestly. We'll have to Google it.
I'm not sure if more people died in the war or died from the flu.
I'll bet, because I think I've seen it, more people died from the flu. They didn't have good measurements.
Yeah.
So it's ramping back up. Okay, here's where I'm going.
Right.
We're going into fourth quarter 2020, right?
Yeah.
It's ramping back up. School's going. They're going to have to cancel school, go back home, Zoom it out. Elections are not letting us mail in ballots. Got to go to the polling place and breathe death. Do the election. going into closed quarters with the flu, and I don't think there's going to be much flu if there's not as many kids in school.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not going anywhere. Let's just say, for purposes of argument.
Okay. Do you think that'll make families go back to a one-person income if somebody has to stay home with the kids, at least while they're young?
I mean, do we print money and pay unemployment? There's all kinds of financial things. It's like we had the worst debt we've ever had, worst debt.
If there's not as many people working, wouldn't they have to kind of raise wages?
Well, if there's only not as many people working, can people consume all the shit we consume now? That's another point I wanted to make, is that we were consuming a lot of stuff, like clothes, right? Mm-hmm. We'd go buy clothes, you know. Hey, it's another week. Let's get our spring outfit. Let's get our summer outfit.
Yeah.
Not buying clothes, and we're not wearing our vehicles out, and we're not wearing our stuff out. We can't keep up with the consumption we had.
Right.
Right, which keeps the economy going. I don't know. I think after we have this call, we'll have think of a lot more things. So then we come into spring next year. Another black spring.
I wonder what's going to happen next year.
The other thing that happens when shit goes on is geopolitical things, right? Somebody invades somebody.
Yeah.
You know, Turkey invades Greece, right? Or
Iran invades Iraq.
Right.
Pakistan invades India.
Right. So you have humans are good, man. We're the world's greatest killers.
Kick them while they're down.
Yeah, world's greatest killers. You said that earlier, more or less. In that, people take advantage always, right? The other thing they take advantage of, man, we've always taken advantage of viruses and colds and germs as a weapon, right? Here's these blankets, Indians. Have some blankets.
Yeah, I wonder if that's what happened back in World War One. One got out of hand.
You know, they gave smallpox blankets to the Indians. They also wiped out all Latin America with smallpox, right? Mm-hmm. And supposedly it's because we domesticated cows and we got used to cowpox and we developed a little bit of immunity to smallpox. They hadn't domesticated cows yet, and we toasted them.
The natives gave us, I believe, syphilis. Europeans.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But it killed so many people, it's crazy. Remember that there was some guy that went to Mexico and went by himself. He had like a little army, and Mexico repelled him, and he went back, and then he came back and just beat up Mexico's ass by himself.
The Aztecs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like with
Ponce
ships.
de Leon? No, it wasn't Ponce de Leon.
Somebody like that, yeah.
Cortez
the killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cortez.
But they used germs. You know.
Hey, anything to win.
So let's say, for political reasons, you know, I want to expose your candidate to my germs.
Okay.
That's going to happen, man.
If it hasn't already.
Right. I mean, that's the way the game's played with the world's greatest killer.
Heart attack gun.
I would say the universe's greatest killer.
Humans?
Yeah.
You don't think there's another deadly
I don't
species
think so.
out there?
They're where they at? Bring it on.
Humans are capable of the greatest evil and the greatest beauty.
How do you measure beauty?
In the same person.
Yeah.
How do you measure evil?
Right.
One person could be capable of murdering a baby and saving a baby.
Yeah.
You can't have one without the other. You just have to learn how to
sort of like
control it.
Like Kirk on Star Trek, you got to have the wolf and the sheep.
You got to have the Kirk with the goatee and the Kirk without the goatee.
Right. You got to have both. No. So, but that's going to be a thing. And so we got geopolitical things coming in, right? Russia says, I want whatever. You know, I want Poland. Mm-hmm. Or I want Turkey's gas.
America says we want Greenland.
I think America's kind of too inward looking currently.
I think you can also politicize anything you want.
Yeah.
Including the virus.
Right. So if we had a civil war now, how would you know when Democrats versus Republicans? Democrats be wearing masks. That's your uniform.
Weren't they already wearing masks?
No, I mean, like, how do you tell, like, if we had a civil war, how do you tell, how do I know what your politics are?
Blue versus red.
Crips versus Bloods.
Yep. Blue masks versus red masks. Blue hats versus red hats.
Yeah. Red coats.
I think you could tell by color of hair color. Pink hair versus brown hair.
I think you can tell
tattoos.
I think you can tell by the type of phone they use.
Apple versus Android. That's good.
And buddy, you're on an Android, as you should be. So geopolitical events, people leveraging disease to kill other people. Sorry about that, man. So what happens in Dark Spring? I think you have more economic fallout. Okay. More jobs are lost. It's going to catch up. The stock market you're talking about, you made $200.
You're going to lose 400.
Yeah, you're going to lose 400 or more. All of it.
I've got a bit of an aggressive investment going right now. Not too bad, not too aggressive, but moderately aggressive.
Just throw all your money you can, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
So more civil unrest, right?
I don't even pay attention to that crap anymore.
Well, civil unrest would be, I'm not worried about racial stuff. I think hopefully America has adjusted. That's what I'm hoping. Right. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't.
Somebody is always going to be marginalized and disenfranchised.
We had our race podcast, and that's behind us now. It was a good one. I haven't ever listened to it.
There will always be a group of something different.
It's going to be unemployed.
It's going to be homeless versus people in homes.
It's always haves and have-nots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a victim and always an oppressor.
Yeah. Yeah, or an aggressor.
Instead of just, do your thing and take care of your family and yourself. Don't worry about anybody else.
All right, so here's what we're seeing for 2021. We're seeing geopolitical events. We're seeing more job loss, right? Maybe, I don't know if it can be made up with delivery jobs, right, or robots.
Service workers.
How much... We got to have people making electricity, or we're toast.
Consumption goes down and manufacturing jobs are going away.
Yeah. Consumption
mass
goes...
unemployment, mass homelessness.
But then we get these upsides, right? We're not consuming as much. Maybe we don't need to make as much. Focus on the family. Focus on your personal health.
I think you'll see backyard farming taking off.
Okay.
And maybe raising goats or something.
Right, chickens or goats, whatever. Yeah.
I think municipalities will be more lax in their permitting on that. A lot of places you can't have farm animals.
Right.
Of course, I got some neighbors. They got goats and chickens, and it smells like a farm over there. They're not supposed to do that, but
I learned something about chickens recently. I wish I hadn't learned it.
That they eat their dead or they eat their crap. Which one?
If they see red, they'll peck the shit out of something. They're little dinosaurs, velociraptors.
If one chicken's been attacked and lost some feathers and it's bleeding, the rest of the chickens will come and attack.
I didn't know that, man, until this year.
I found that out by watching a YouTube video about it.
You didn't watch your neighbor's chickens and say, "Damn."
I can't see in there. I hear them. I see one outside every once in a while.
I mean, Jesus Christ, chickens! I'll try to make you happy. Just don't kill each other.
Yeah.
Here's some God-blessed chicken food.
A bunch of them will attack the weaker one.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they? I didn't know those damn things were carnivorous.
They eat insects and everything. Lizards.
I thought they just ate grass.
No.
Every time you see them pecking, they're just pecking grass.
Chicken feed?
Yeah.
What do you think they're pecking at in the grass? Ticks and stuff.
Man, that'd be cool to eat some ticks.
Snails, ticks,
so
grasshoppers.
They're carnivores like dogs and bears.
I'll say they're omnivores. They'll eat anything.
So are pigs omnivores?
Mm-hmm. Pigs will eat people.
Yeah.
Pigs will eat anything.
All right. So now I got a lot more to...
They love to just chew on bones and meat.
Really?
Round it up.
Got a lot more to worry about in 2021.
You ever heard about people like, that's a great way to get rid of a body, throw them in a pig pen?
I've read those stories. So back to 2021, the year of the chicken, the murder chicken. I don't know how it's going to play out, man. So back to our 2 rules for surviving the apocalypse. Don't catch it. Don't lose your job.
Mm-hmm. Even if you got to take somebody out, don't lose your job.
I think we'll get dumber. I think, and like you said, we'll get dumber, but also we'll learn to fix our own shit, right? So we'll get good. Like, so I can fix printed circuit boards here at the house with a soldering iron,
right?
Because I have to. If you want your thing to keep working, you got to hand fix it.
Can't afford a new computer, you need to bring your computer over here and I'll fix it for you.
Yeah, or patch holes in your clothes.
Yeah.
So you'll get better at trades, right? And less specialization, like, you know.
I think if you're an upper class person, you'll still have your specialization because you can afford to have people
somebody's got to pay you
for
it. Somebody's got to pay you for it. Like, let's talk about lawyers for a second. How's it look? How's it look for them?
I don't know, man.
I don't know either.
Lawyers going to be politicians and judges and stuff, so they'll always be making the laws in their favor.
You got to have courts, and you got to have social contact.
You can do that stuff over the internet too now.
Yeah.
Traffic
Put
court.
somebody in jail for life.
A home arrest, house arrest.
All right, so and now I'll wrap this up. Just want to, okay, so we got 2021 figured out, just decreasing aperture, more self-reliance. We got a bunch of fit people that can fix their own shit, right? Family's number one, hopefully. You know, we're dodging groups. And was there a big benefit? Some things, here's a question for you. Are some groups a big benefit to be in?
Give me an example.
Okay, let's do football game first.
Okay, are some large groups a benefit to be in? Okay.
Yeah. Football games, no. I guess you get drunk and you pass out, right?
Maybe if there's a wild animal attacking people, it'd be good to be in a large group.
Like a giant Velocity chicken.
Yeah. Be less likely to get eaten. Or somebody shooting.
Okay, that's a good point. So So we don't have anything right now big enough to kill us. Animals. And you know, one thing you and I need to do on these podcasts is not talk about death and destruction as much. You know, it's half the fun.
It's part of the living.
It's half the fun. Okay, so and also for some jobs, like you want to build a car, you want to have a car assembly plant, you got to have people in there, right?
Yep.
And science. I keep coming back to science, advancements, education. Can you do it distributed?
I think it will evolve.
Can we do good science from our basement bunkers?
I think so, yeah.
Really? Think just computer programs? So somebody's got to make those computers.
So somebody's simulations.
All right, but you got to admit that somebody's got to make the computers, the programs, and power the coal and gas and nuclear power plants and hydroelectric.
Until we have our own little mini power plants in our backyards.
Or solars on your roof.
Which they have to make the solar. They got to make all that stuff too.
Yeah, they got to make all that silicon. All right. So all we can say, really, is we're going into interesting times.
Yep.
Now,
uncharted territory.
Now, you and I have lived without going through like a major world war, right? Without a major depression, right? And they finally blew the whistle on us in 2020. Said, boys, you know, let me just check my records. You missed World War II, okay? You missed 1936.
We're too old to go to war now, though.
Yeah,
Unless all the teenagers and 20 and 30-year-olds are killed, then they'll come get us and make us go.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
We maybe all countries may be too sick to go to war, right? Who knows?
War for your mind.
So, but somebody said, hey, we got to throw a little excitement in your lifespan, so here's a disease.
Yeah. It's kind of exciting. I mean,
it's different.
Would you rather be bored or?
I mean, I still don't want anybody to pass away from it.
Yeah.
Or get sick or get hurt or injured, heart, lung, cognitive functions, whatever. Fatigue, you know.
I think disease is a worse way to go than an animal attack or a war. I think disease just kind of is slow. Slower.
It's hard to fight that enemy, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know. We don't have a good view. We can see to about 20. We can see about to mid. We can see probably 1 year from now. You know, like September 2021. Will they open schools again?
I think stuff will change depending on who wins the election.
A lot of people think that. And here's the thing.
This is politicized.
It's a global epidemic. U.S. is not that big of the world, right? 5% of the population.
We control the world, and we control what we get, what kind of information we get from outside.
Yeah.
Well, controlled.
The world doesn't think we control them. But we're only 5% of the world, population-wise, supposedly. So changing our politics, if they're dosing... Here's a story for you. Now we'll wrap up with this one, I guess. So New Zealand went 100 days without a case of COVID, right?
Okay.
They shut the borders, right? They shut everything down. The guys they isolated them, and they went 100 days without COVID. They got a female prime minister, right? Like a female president, and she's out in public talking to people face to face, no mask, right? And then 4 people in the same house got it recently.
Did they open the borders back up?
What was it they said? Because I just heard this yesterday, and I should have memorized this. They're not sure how they got it. Hopefully it's not blew off a damn breeze across the ocean.
Or some people had it and they just didn't know they had it.
I think they were exposed to some people on boats or something, or I'm not sure.
What about packages from other countries?
It wasn't that.
It wasn't?
No. It was.
How do they know if they don't know?
We'll have to Google it. So if you give a darn, Google it tonight or whatever. So that's a country that could, you'd think it could shut it down, right? Small country. Isolated as heck. They controlled the borders. They did everything right, and it popped back up.
Are they saying it came out of thin air, or are they saying
I think there was a link, and I need to Google it, man, to somebody on a boat, because it was 4 people in the same family.
On a boat.
Some kind of exposure.
Do you think any of the politicians might have traveled for their work?
Or a shipment from China, right? Occam's razor on that one. So if New Zealand can't control it, how's the U.S. going to with 330 million versus whatever they have, 5 million?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
We'll see.
Interesting times, and we'll revisit this. All right, I guess we're not going to talk about the wreck of the Ella Fitzgerald until next time.
Yeah. I have to do some research on that.
All right. What's our closing statement?
Stay safe.
Legit.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs or alcohol.
Learn something.
Yep.
Take care of your family.
Be creative versus watching other people be creative.
Right.
I like that.
Create, don't consume.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Bald Eagle.
All right, buddy. Thank you.